everyone, my name is Joby. We have already learned about subject and predicate, the two important parts of a sentence in the previous class. Now we are going to learn about the object, which is one of the five major elements of a clause structure or a sentence. The other four are subject, verb, adjunct and complement. We will deal with adjunct and complement in the coming lessons. Majority of you must be a bit confused with regard to different types of objects. I'll try my level best to cover up all the points related to object and solve all your doubts. First and foremost, let's try to understand what is an object. In grammar, an object is a noun, pronoun, or a group of words which receives the action of a verb. Object normally follows the verb in a clause or in a sentence. An object in grammar is a part of sentence and often part of a predicate. It refers to someone or something involved in the subject performance of verb. It is what verb is being done to. For example, Ravi threw the ball. The word ball is the object of the sentence, while the noun Ravi is the subject. The object ball is affected by the action of the verb. Types of objects. There are three types of objects: direct object, indirect object, and object of a preposition. First, direct object. A direct object is a noun, pronoun, or a group of words which receives the action of the verb directly or is influenced by the action of the verb. See the examples. First, Ravi threw the ball. In this sentence, the noun, the ball is the direct object as it receives the action of the verb threw directly. Second, she hates them. In this sentence, the pronoun them is the direct object as it receives the action of the verb hates directly. Now, let's learn how to identify the direct objects. An important feature of direct objects is that they are used with transitive verbs. First, find out the transitive verb in a given sentence and then add what or whom after the verb and answer the questions whom or what. The answer we get to these questions are direct objects. In the first sentence, if we ask, "What did Ravi throw?" the answer we get is the ball. Thus, the ball is the direct object of the verb threw in this sentence. In the second sentence, if we ask, "Whom does she hate?" the answer we get is them. Thus, them is the direct object of the verb hate in this sentence. Next, indirect object. Indirect objects are those objects which are indirectly affected by the action of the verbs through direct objects. They are always used with direct objects. That's why direct objects are necessary for the presence of indirect objects. Remember, the indirect object of a sentence is the recipient of the direct object. Look at the following sentences. Raju gave him a pen. Raju gave a pen to him. Both the sentences are equally correct and they are conveying one and the same meaning. When we ask, "Gave what?" we get the answer, a pen, which is the direct object. And the recipient of the direct object, a pen, is him, which is the indirect object. See the next sentences. My mother bought me a car. My mother bought a car for me. Here also, both the sentences are conveying the same meaning. When we ask, "Bought what?" we get the answer, a car, which is the direct object. And the recipient of the direct object, a car, is me, which is the indirect object. Now let's learn how to identify indirect objects. If you know the action, verb and direct object in a sentence, then it's very easy to identify the indirect object. Indirect object answers to whom or for whom. In the first sentence, if we ask, to whom did Raju give a pen? The answer we get is him. Thus, him is the indirect object of the verb give in this sentence. In the second sentence, if we ask, for whom did my mother buy a car? The answer we get is me. Thus, me is the indirect object of the verb bought in this sentence. The last one, object of a preposition. Object of a preposition is a kind of object which is preceded by a preposition. In other words, a noun or a pronoun that comes after a preposition is an object which is governed by a preposition, and it is called object of a preposition or a prepositional object. Read the following sentences carefully. First, the book is under the table. Second, I saw him near his house. The highlighted words are prepositions, while the italic words are objects. Each object in the above mentioned sentences is preceded by a preposition. That's why they are called objects of a preposition or prepositional objects. Points to remember. An indirect object is really a prepositional phrase in which the preposition to or for is not stated but understood. It tells to whom or for whom something is done. Prepositional phrase is a group of words which begins with a preposition and ends with an object. The indirect object generally comes between the verb and the direct object without mentioning the prepositions to and for which are understood. But when they are mentioned in the sentence, the indirect object will come after the direct object. In such cases, the object that come after the preposition to and for will never be the objects of preposition and direct objects, as it answers to the question to whom or for whom. Since it will remain as the recipient of direct object, it will be an indirect object. Observe the following sentences carefully. First, she bought a gift for Joseph. The noun Joseph is the indirect object of the verb bought, which answers the question for whom. Second, he ate bread for the breakfast. The noun the breakfast is a direct object of the preposition for, which does not answer the question for whom. Third, she sent a letter to me. The pronoun me is the indirect object of the verb sent, which answers the question to whom. Fourth, she went to Agra. The noun Agra is a direct object of the preposition to, which does not answer the question to whom. Let's revise the lesson by analyzing few examples. First, he thanked Ravi. In this sentence, Ravi is a direct object of the verb thanked. Second, Seema gave him a book. The answer to the question gave what is a book. So the noun a book is a direct object and the pronoun him is an indirect object which is the recipient of the direct object a book. Third, show me the signature. In this sentence, the signature is a direct object and me is the indirect object. Fourth, show the signature to me. Here also, the signature is a direct object and me is the indirect object. Fifth, she sent Raju and me a letter. In this sentence, a letter is the direct object and Raju and me is the indirect object. Seventh, the water of that well is pure. The subject part of this sentence is the water of that well, and that well is the object of the preposition of. So the prepositional objects can come in the subject part as well. And this is a direct object. 8th. John built Mary a house. In this sentence, a house is a direct object and Mary is an indirect object. 9th. John built a house for Mary. Here also, a house is the direct object and Mary is the indirect object. 10th. She bought a cake for your birthday. In this sentence, your birthday is a direct object which is governed by the preposition for. 11th. The leaves of this tree are very small. In this sentence, this tree is the object which is governed by the preposition of, and this is a direct object. Thanks for watching this video. If you have not yet subscribed this channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon. We'll see you soon with a new lesson. Till then, take care. Bye.